Hello and welcome back to the Masters Editor podcast with Rory and Toby. Today we'll be talking for an hour about the best golf tournament we've seen in a long time. Yeah. Rory McIlroy brought it home for the boys. We will not be talking... I don't think there's any other sports on this weekend, am I right?
Absolutely none.
God. I've got a few other ideas of podcasts we could do instead of football.
Yeah.
Golf, which, we've done. Crypto Bro.
Yeah.
We could talk about the makeup.
That's doing really well.
Makeup. We could do makeup tutorials and that sort of thing. I know we do a lot of that anyway, but AI.
Yeah, that's
hot. That is hot right now.
Yeah, I know about AI.
Or we could talk about the football.
I don't really want to.
I don't really want to.
This is going to be an interesting podcast.
Should we just wrap it up here?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, everybody listening at home, Rory, me and you, we're in this together.
Should we treat it like a therapy session?
I feel like we should. Firstly, yes, we should. Because I feel like the last three podcasts we've had to use the phrase, if we take a step back and look at things in perspective, we're actually 5.6 points clear. Oh, no, it's getting less and less and less. And let me read you the last two titles of our podcast. Actually, there's one in between, but didn't want the quadruple anyway. Didn't want the treble anyway. 3 guesses to what this one's going to be called today. Oh my God. How are you feeling? Let's go full therapist. How are you feeling, mate?
I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming.
Oh, mate.
How are you feeling?
After Southampton last week, I was breezy, fine. Like, genuinely, I completely saw the big picture. I was like, right, we rotated, we rolled the dice, we lost. I don't mind that because we rolled the dice because we chose to prioritise the Champions League and the Premier League.
I don't think we chose to, though.
No, don't get me wrong, we wanted to win.
Yeah.
But the selection told me that and the performance told me otherwise. I was like, fine, they didn't want to get injured. They rotated. I didn't mind that. Long story short, we've done that podcast, doesn't matter. I didn't mind it. And then we got the win in the Champions League during the week. There's a few surprising names still out, which I didn't expect. We struggled through that, but it was an away performance. You can sort of justify the poor performance. We got a win, 1-0, all that sort of stuff. So, and I was feeling quite bouncy going into... nervous, but bouncy coming into Saturday. And then the team drops. And I don't think I've felt less confident in a team announcement I think the last time I felt less confident was the Man City 4-1 in 22-23.
With Rob Holding at the back.
Rob Holding at the back. It wasn't that this is necessarily a worse team, but you just know Bournemouth are fresh. That front three have not played well together once this season. Kai Havertz does not. Yeah. Like, they just can't trap a ball. Not their skill set is running, not holding the ball up, right? And when you've got all three of them up front, you want no one to be able to trap a ball. And then you see Havertz in midfield, who I think is a wonderful 9 for us. I can't remember too many games he's played well in midfield. And then you look at our fullbacks, unless who had a good game. And again, but they're no one from that side of things is in form. And we knew we were in for it. And in terms of the question, how am I feeling? I was properly gutted and angry because you can lose. If we'd scored 1 goal, but we'd had 50 shots with 25 XG and just had one of those days where the keeper had a bad game, but they got 1 shot from 50 yards and it flies in the top corner after having 10 deflections. You can deal with that, but I can't believe the performance. I've got so many scribbled notes.
The worst thing is I can believe it.
Well, yeah.
Because I was looking through our games that we'd played recently, and you go from the Brighton game where we won 1-0.
Oof, that was a bad
Saka
game,
scored quite early on, within 10 minutes, and then it was us basically being pummeled for the rest of the 80 minutes. Do you remember? Brighton had 60% possession. We were just absolutely nowhere in that game. And I think there were little warning signs before that. It wasn't fantastic, but we kind of felt January. Like it might just be a blip. So then we had the Mansfield game, dodgy pitch. That's fine. We won 2-1, but it was 1-1 for a bit, and everyone's a bit worried. Then we played Leverkusen away. Granted, it's away knockout game. We weren't good at all. Got very lucky in the last few minutes. Man City Champions League, League Cup final, battered. Then it was Sporting, dreadful again. Just managed to nick a last-minute winner, but didn't deserve it at all. And now Bournemouth, dreadful again, where we just don't create anything. And we spoke about it, I think, last podcast about how slow we are attacking, and how we can't beat the press. There is a worry now that the way we played against City
it's told everyone what we're doing.
exactly, which
Achilles heel
is a massive, massive worry. But it's more the fact that the build-up we play is so slow and stagnant, and it has been. We've been playing the same way all season. There's no difference of imagination or creativity or getting positions or getting players in different positions. Everyone knows exactly what we're going to do, and we've been seeing it not just from the City game, but just from the beginning of the season. It's always going to be Saka goes out, Timber comes inside. We play the ball around the box very slowly. We try and play for a corner. We go down the right side because that's where we're more favourable. We leave Martinelli out the left, and it's really predictable and boring, to be honest. Well, I just don't think that we've got. Look at the players we had on the pitch. You have Havertz, you got Martinelli, you got Madueke. Even you had Daumann as a. Who else was it? Jesus to an extent. I know they came on late.
Trossard.
And Trossard. And none of these players play an attacking, with any attacking intent, with any creative intent. So there has to be a focus on the manager to a certain extent, because I can't believe that these players, as a collective, have just lost the ability to play, imaginary, creative passes. It just doesn't make sense at all.
It's so easy when you lose a game like this, of this magnitude, in that way, to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and it's the manager, and it's this player, and it's that player, and ultimately, this is one of those games where you do have to sort of look quite far back and ask where this comes from. But if you're talking about those games before, where at the beginning of the season, where we were all talking about the attack's not quite clicking, is Gyökeres here, Martinelli's not really on form, we're relying on Trossard brilliance, this sort of stuff. Ultimately, these were corners, set piece FC, all that sort of stuff. But we were relying on these, but the difference in that was we were playing so far in the opponent's half and camped there the whole game. Hasn't you ever seen those field tilt graphs? Every single one was just red. We were, from start to finish, in the opponent half. We had no space, winning corners left, right and centre, because we were asserting full control, full dominance. That was our style of play. And do you know what? We didn't grit our teeth in the sense, we were top of the league, we were smashing it in the Champions League, because anytime the team came upon us, they came at us, not just Champions League, we're talking Leeds. Who else do we, put 4 past? I can't remember off the top of my head. Spurs, Villa. The team that came at us, Atletico Madrid, Bayern. These are teams that they came at us, then we would punish them. And I don't know what's happened. Yes, there's a personnel issue. Maybe it's a mentality issue. It could be a fatigue thing. It could be all 3 of these things. But Bournemouth were open. We got ourselves in pretty good positions to be able to do it. I actually disagree. I thought we were great at beating the press for the majority of it. We had a few dodgy errors because we did not need to do it the whole time. We need to mix it up when we're under pressure. But we were great at beating the press. What do we do when they beat the press? Wait for them to come back, turn around, pass it back again. What are we doing? Beat the press, go after them. So I think you've nailed it. I think people have watched that City game, figured out how to play us. Yeah. And I think we're either physically or mentally fatigued or weak, or I don't know. I honestly,
there's an emphasis. You mentioned control. There's an emphasis on control. There's always been an emphasis on control with Arteta. That's how he likes to play, with total control. The problem is now that total control relied on a very structured defence that was just solid and unbreakable. We used to talk about, we used to celebrate, not like teams going weeks and weeks and weeks, coming
without shooting,
exactly playing against us without having a shot on target, let alone a shot. But the problem is now, I think, we're so deep in the season, we're struggling with injuries, we're struggling with fatigue. the way we play in terms of slow build up favours a very, very strong defence, which we currently don't have. It's a bit more shaky. Ben White is coming in. He's not playing that great. Timber is out. Our left backs are switching every game. Gabriel and Saliba have been and Raya have been the only constant, but the two in front of them, Rice has been good. He's looks knackered, but Zubimendi, the drop off is just mental.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
Mental. And we were sat here beginning the season saying he might be player of the year. The way he was playing,
I genuinely think it was like 2 months ago.
Well, the way that he was so influential for the team was he was pivotal. But as now we're talking about him potentially being replaced with Norgut because he's become a liability, or potentially moving Rice to the 6, and then having two attacking midfielders, either Odegaard and Eze playing in front of him. It's the drop off in form from so many players has come at the worst time. But I think the way we're playing is not helping, because you go to the Emirates and we'll get into whether it's the players or the crowd that is making each other nervy. But
definitely the players.
because it's an interesting debate. But I think the way that we're playing in terms of the slow build up is making the crowd frustrated.
Yeah,
I think that it doesn't suit the way that we're defending, or the sturdiness that we have at the back, and it frustrates the crowd. And then when the crowd get on your back because they're trying to force Zubimendi to turn and pass it forward, but all we're doing is passing it back to Raya. And I think Raya had 38 times or 36 times the ball was played back to him, because we're looking for the easy way out. Which, if you're playing Bournemouth in one of the most important games in the club's history, why are they being taught to play it back to the keeper? And our keeper, it kind of feels like Raya is our most creative player at the moment, because either it annoys me so much that there are so many levels that we have come into this game bigging it up, being told to bring our lunch and dinner, and just ridiculous shit like that, and for it to look like no one really wants to win the game, or we're not even trying to win the game, and I can't get my head around that. And this is where it comes into the fans booing, because I kind of feel on one hand, I think fans have every right to boo, because they're trying to get a message across to Arteta, who they can't go up onto the street or go into his house and have a conversation with.
Can we not?
But they try. But it's
not come to the cheeseburger joint.
Yeah, but this has been coming for a long, long time, the way we're playing, and we're so close, but it's falling away right in front of our eyes, and we're playing the same way week in, week out. So I kind of feel like the booing is just to get a message to Arteta to try and shake it up, to try something different, or to try and just wake everyone up and realise exactly what like the position they're in.
Yeah.
But I can see why, as a player, it would be annoying to have, you put your everything or supposed everything into a game, and then suddenly the crowd boos you. And you get annoyed. You might get annoyed by that, but I can also see the way it looks on the outside when fans see, fans of Liverpool's or whatever on Twitter, whatever they see fans of Arsenal booing their team, despite us being 9 points or 8 points clear or whatever it was at the time. But as I say, I think it is just the crowd trying to get a message to Arteta.
Yeah, and also I would
never do. I find it very. I
find it weird. Anyone does it any time.
Yeah, exactly. I would never do it, even if we lost 6-0. It just doesn't sit right with me. But I kind of get why people just feel so desperate.
Yeah,
in a way to just try and make, as I say, shake them up and make them realise exactly what is going on. Because, as I say, it is slipping through our fingers right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. I agree, and the problem is the booing. I think this is a recognition from fans where, right, the first couple of seasons where it didn't quite go our way, we came second. We stuck with it. It was part of a process. We were promised this. We were promised that. Going out of League Cups early, taking it from other fans, going out of FA Cups, dropping Europa League. Just not quite having it against Bayern, a couple of years ago, and it was the injuries last year and all that sort of stuff. And then we've invested in the squad. We haven't gone all out in attack for that reason. We're with you. And quite frankly, every other person in the world wants this to go wrong because of how much we've fallen short and how comedic that is to opposing fans, it's rallied everyone together to hope and watch and love Arsenal failing, because that's frankly, if it was any other club, we'd be the same, right? We'd be laughing because it's funny. Let's go and watch them do the same thing all over again, right? Yeah. So we take that, we defend Arteta to the hills, we defend the club, we defend everyone saying we've got the worst fans, right? And the marketing goes out. It goes, bring your lunch, bring your dinner. There's 3 emotional videos that go out. You know, Arteta's done it. You know, I again, and I love the guy. It's just like, okay, great. And I'm telling you, I was there on Saturday. The fans did absolutely everything. They were brilliant, right? You watch the reaction. Go back on TV and watch the reaction after we concede both goals. Singing, come on, Arsenal, come right. It genuinely, like, don't get me wrong, we were quiet in, I think, sort of between the 50 and 65th, where we were really bad and they were great. But I'm telling you now, the crowd were brilliant. They did everything that we were asked. And when you don't see, it's not. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's not the loss, even though it is. It's what on earth was the lack of bravery that they showed versus what we were asked to bring. You know, and I think that's where it
doesn't add up.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't boo, Jesus Christ. But like, you can absolutely see where someone who's had quite a few beers and is going back to their WhatsApp groups and to their work, knowing that they're going to get it absolute pelters after defending us for 5 years for winning nothing. They're getting it all over again. It's an emotional outpour that isn't thought through in a moment. And booze last 3 seconds, and it only takes 1,000 people out of 60,000 for it to be heard, right? Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't everyone, but you know, you're asking people to be rational at the most emotional points in what they're feeling, and we're basically and ultimately we've been telling everyone that we're not that team, and I don't believe we are that team. But
what team is that?
The bottling team, you know, whatever, and it comes out days like this today. It's like, well, I can't defend that anymore, but I've tried to for so long because I don't believe you are. But here we are, and you're doing it. And look, we're saying this. We're emotional. It's been 2 days. You know, we're recording on a Monday night, but we're looking down the barrel of, because at this rate, I don't remember a big game us winning apart from Bayern. You know, in the Champions League we have, to be fair. You know, I could see us getting to the final. I could see us beating Atletico. I could see us beating Sporting. Not necessarily like going to happen, but it would be understandable if we didn't. But like, I could see that happening. But if we come against a Bayern or a PSG at the rate we're going at, like, I don't think we've got hope in hell. So going the way we're going, and so we just need this mojo back wherever that's going to come from. I mean, Eze's a massive welcome back, because to be honest, when we played that game against Leverkusen in the second leg, I thought, we're back. Bit of mojo and that, and losing him and losing others, and again, I could go on for ages about this, but I just worry where this mojo is going to come from.
The Leverkusen second leg was decided by 2 moments of genius from Rice and Eze. But correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember like battering them. Which I don't know. We didn't batter them, but I don't remember us creating millions of...
I really can't remember now, to be fair.
Or millions of chances from open play. It was just 2 wonder strikes that did it.
Well, no, to be fair, that keeper had an absolute
He did have... He
was on fire. Was Saka playing that game?
Yes, I think so. I can't
We'll get into that.
But yeah, Eze coming back is massive. We just have to use him correctly from now. And I don't... It's going to be so interesting to see what he does, as I say, with Zubimendi for Sporting and City as well, because he looks exhausted. I was listening to...
Who, sorry?
Zubimendi. I was listening to the Oscars, and they were saying that he's played more games at this point than he has previously in a season ever, and that he hasn't really played. You know, factoring that Sociedad weren't really in the Champions League, and Norgaard's played, I think, 60 minutes in total for the Premier League in the Premier League.
But there's a pressure. There's a lack of pressure that Zubimendi has been under in his career that worries me. That is now coming out, rather than the fatigue. Although I'm sure that's an aspect. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I get it, but he's also played in the Euro final.
He has
and changed the game completely. And coming on as a sub for Rodri, who came off against England. You don't get more. It doesn't get more pressurised than that.
Do you know what? That's fair enough.
And he was sensational.
Did you see him? The thing that worries me is I think there was quite a few sort of heated discussions on the pitch that surrounded Zubimendi, and he made a couple of mistakes. And the drop off has been crazy, but I saw him being, and I think it was pictures that go around. He was being consoled at one point.
Yeah, because I think he probably feels like he was a mistake for the first goal. Like the part.
Could you imagine Declan Rice being consoled? I said, look, I'm not going into Zubimendi,
But it's different.
I'm sorry,
different characters. Different characters.
They are. But like, if we're looking for, if we're looking at Zubimendi right now, who's dropped off enormously, and I love the guy, but like, the physicality clearly has gone a bit, and any opportunity that we can take him off, we do, because he's played so much. But when you're looking for someone who's going to take us over the line, like a warrior mentality, which admittedly every player is different, right?
But you can't have 11 of those.
You can't have 11 of those, but
you can't have 11 Rices.
We just can't. Yeah, I know, but
I don't have a problem with that. He knows at least he's realizing the magnitude of his mistakes. He also has a horrible tendency to keep the ball for too long.
I know. I don't know what's going on there
in certain situations. But this is what I mean about beating the press. You need some. I mean, Partey was so good at it, even though he's a horrible bloke. He was so good at it, taking the ball and then turning and on his day, one of the best defensive midfielders in the world,
comfortably. But
everything would flow through him. We're having nothing flow through Zubimendi. Like
it's
even. I think again the stats were that Raya was had the second most touches, on Saturday. That's a disgusting stat for you're playing at home against Bournemouth, who, all credit to them. They're not a top 6 side. It's mental.
I mean, how much does this go back to like the front three though? If we're asking, this is a question. I haven't really thought this through, but like, so I guess if you've got Noni Madueke and Martinelli and Gyökeres who on their day
can't keep the ball,
they're all runners, and one-on-one or as a collective with other people individually, those people are really good, genuinely brilliant players on their day.
Yeah,
but as a three, like who's coming short?
Who's again? I've just thought this now.
Who's connecting them?
You want to play total control?
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to play total control with the 3 guys who can't even keep the ball? And you've got Havertz pushing up to play almost a second striker, and then you're leaving Rice and Zubimendi in the midfield. And there's a massive gap between the strike, that front 4, and then Zubimendi and Rice, who are playing slightly deeper. And it was just wave after wave. We just couldn't get a foothold, it felt like. Ever.
But mate, is that why we ended up beating the press and then having nowhere to go? Because we were like, we aren't able to pass these guys because it's just all a bit. And Havertz, I'm curious. I can't figure out.
I don't think we ever did beat the press because they would try and beat the press by playing it short and then dicking about with it at the box, which almost cost us a goal because Raya decides to play a ball out wide with the outside of his foot, which is mental. So then we decided to kick it long more, and Gyökeres can't hold it up. Havertz was doing nothing, and then you got it didn't even get to Martinelli and Madueke. So. And again, the problem is that Havertz is pushed up to join Gyökeres in the front line.
Yeah,
we don't win the ball, so it comes straight back into the gap between where Havertz should have been in attacking midfield, and then it's just Bournemouth just countered us again.
I actually had in my note that just looking back at the game, and the way I felt in the moment was we had so many opportunities to get our wingers one-on-one, and I think we either squandered the chance to actually get it to the winger in the first place.
Abysmal.
Or things like Madueke or Gyökeres literally running it out of play.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I just think the performance from the wingers, I mean, every time Martinelli touched the ball, it was like, I mean, the 4 times he did. It's really worrying. But, a couple of years ago, Martinelli or Saka would get the ball, or even Trossard on the wing, you're off your seat. Some stuff's going to happen. You might even win a corner and then something, but whatever. But it doesn't seem to be happening. So structurally, I felt like we were able to isolate the wingers at certain times. But that Kai Havertz pass that will be the one that sticks in the mind that just went straight to the player when both wingers were in acres of space. Yeah. But for me, the worst thing was second balls.
Yeah,
I can't remember us winning a second ball.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just that's got to be 2 things: desire from players and managerial positioning and structure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else, because second balls are kind of 2 things: is kind of predicting where it's going to be, because i.e. where the first ball's going to be headed, because if you're aiming it front, right to Madueke, whatever, then surround the player.
Yeah.
Because then you might win a knock on, really. But the other thing is just a desire to get there, or desire to win a duel and win the ball back high up, and then pass it forward, not backwards. But and look, we could go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, is like the front line is strange, because I don't think, if you asked, a million Arsenal fans who have watched every game throughout the course of the season, who they'd want playing as a front three, maybe 2% would say that the lineup, or that the Madueke, Martinelli, and Gyökeres lineup, because we've just seen in the past that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So why does he think that it's going to work in the biggest game of the season?
I mean, I've got sympathy a little bit in, I don't know, Eze probably wasn't fit to start. Daumann is just, I just don't think we can be starting him necessarily in a Premier League game like that, under that pressure as a 15, 16-year-old. Who else was available? I mean, Trossard, who I think should have started despite Jesus, but I mean, as a winger? Yeah, maybe I could have had that, but I don't think you can not start Noni there.
And if you want to play control football, and then at least play someone who can actually control the football.
Yeah, I mean, look, Havertz is half fit, but to be honest, I would love to see him up top. I thought Gyökeres...
Even Havertz on the wing. I was thinking about this on the way down here. Like, play him on the wing.
But then who else? I mean, I did feel a bit sorry for the manager in that perspective. Like, I don't know, maybe the Havertz up top and then putting Eze, but then Eze wasn't fit. So I don't know.
I've got no sympathy at all, because we're 60 games into a season.
Who would you have started given the
still
fitness?
Doesn't know his best attack, and he still can't figure out like that. You can't have three runners when you're trying to play control football at home. I get it if you're playing away in the Champions League against a team that doesn't press that, or that comes at you and presses. There's a lot of space, but I don't get it when you're playing at home, and the emphasis is on control.
Yeah.
And defending when the defence has been battered because we're playing Lewis Skelly and Ben White, who are your second string right back and third string left back. Yeah. Why are you picking that side? And Havertz, who's not now non-midfielder. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. And I get the injury thing, but at the same time, Trossard could have played 60 minutes and come off.
Yeah,
Eze could have played half a game. Eze could have played half a game of football and come off. I would have rather I think that Gyökeres stayed on the pitch when he scored the penalty.
Yeah.
And Havertz came off. I think I would have taken Gyökeres off and put Havertz up front.
I have to say, in the moment, I think that's partly to do with Havertz's fitness, to be fair. He's just come up from a year off. So if you're making that decision, I'm guessing fitness comes into it. I'm guessing. And my feeling being there was that Gyökeres was the hardest working player on the pitch and the most threatening by a mile. I personally think...
I don't think that's saying much, though.
I don't think it's saying much, but I think he worked harder than anyone else on that pitch, and I include Declan Rice in that. I think he was all over the place physically. And sometimes I do wonder generally with Gyökeres. I mean, our analysis of Gyökeres this season has been, he ends up scoring quite a few goals, to be fair to him, but maybe not for this level. Yep. He's not really holding the ball up very well. He's not using his strength very well. Like, a genuine question here: like, how much is he just being let down by wingers at the moment? Like, what wingers do we have in forms? Have we had in forms since January?
I mean, none.
None. It's probably maybe six of one and half a dozen of the other, in the sense that maybe a better forward would enable better wing play. But I mean, if he's making a run and he's doing what Gyökeres wants to do, and our wingers have basically been dud all season. I don't know. Maybe it's just I think
it's a combination of so many things. It's a combination of wingers not being on form. It's a combination of the build-up play being unbelievably slow the whole time. I think it's the tactics, obviously, of Arteta, but I also think it's when Gyökeres does get the ball, especially out wide, doesn't do anything with it. All he does is... It's like playing... Do you remember playing Pro Evolution Soccer?
Yeah.
Where you just the player would run in sort of 8 directions and that was it. That's a bit like what it feels like with Gyökeres, is he would just... He runs in sort of right angles, like 90-degree angles, you know what I mean? He's like, turn, and then he just plays it back. Because he can't beat a man. Yeah. And then I kind of feel like the wingers lose faith in passing it out to him, because 60% of the time he passes it back. The rest of the time he loses the ball.
Which is why I just think we should be. I personally think we should be starting Havertz up front this week against Sporting.
I think we should start, if we can. I think we should start Havertz up front for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I don't mind Gyökeres coming on as high energy.
No, neither do I. Neither do I. As a battering ram.
Yeah.
When the defenders are tired,
and he can just find a space.
Exactly, and he's a willing runner, which he will be, because he will run and run and run and run and run. It's the last thing you want as a defender, in the 60th minute when you've just had to deal with Madueke or Eze or whoever. Is someone of that someone of that stature, working the socks off. He's got to learn how to stay on his feet though.
It's infuriating.
It does my head in. As does the corners. We spent 6 minutes taking corners, just like lining up. Just at the field, the ball was in our hands.
Really,
for 6 minutes.
It did
total.
feel like that. Oh, it's the same with throw-ins.
Again,
I was like, mate.
Sorry, I'm talking about. This is about 7 minutes. Sorry, it was 7 minutes for corners, 6 minutes for throw-ins.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, what are we doing?
I think there is a theme about this team.
Yeah.
This iteration of Arteta's Arsenal is, which I don't remember ever seeing. And again, if this is how we're going to play, because we want to control, we want to dominate space, and just take our time to make sure we get the ball, and be playing in the other end of the pitch, which gives us the least chance of, which is the Arsenal I recognise from Arteta, least chance of conceding, the most chance of maximising your time in the opponent's box. As difficult as it is to watch sometimes, I get it. If that's what you're trying to do it. Just be who you are made to be from that side of things. And if we want to change up how we're going to play, we can talk about that at the end of the season, because nothing's going to change right now. But we're just not even seeing that. The theme I'm seeing at the moment is that when you are playing in that controlled environment and you are in the other end of the pitch, there's no urgency, because you're deliberately playing with slow build-up play, which is what City were known for a very long time, and it's a justifiable way of playing, right? But when you apply that lack of urgency to playing, a much wider game across the whole pitch where there is loads of space, you just look like you're turning down chances. You're taking time on throw-ins, which just means you're just holding up the game. Like, it baffles me. I particularly since the final, I've not known what we're trying to do. And I haven't said that for a long time, so I do think that it's very, very obvious when we're desperately trying to dominate space.
Yeah. So you look at compare us to City, where you have the front three. They've got two fast wingers in Doku and Semenyo, and they've got Haaland up top. It's not too dissimilar to what we played against Bournemouth. So then they play O'Reilly at left back, who comes up and plays effectively as a striker, similar to Calafiori.
Yeah.
Then you've got you'd have you've got
Cherki and Eze.
Cherki would effectively be Havertz, and then you'd have Bernardo Silva being Rice, and then you'd have Rodri being Zubimendi.
In theory, yeah.
In theory.
I see what you mean.
That's
structurally.
Structurally, that's how it works. That's how they play. Havertz, or the Cherki role for us would either be Odegaard or Havertz or Eze. Just isn't playing with that amount of freedom. They're not playing with that intensity, with that creativity, or anything like that.
I think Eze was just before he got injured.
I wouldn't say he's demanding the ball as much as Cherki.
No, I mean, Cherki's just sensational. I get it.
Cherki's insane, but we're comparing apples to apples, because I feel like structurally the system isn't that different in terms of what we're trying to do. With Rice and Bernardo Silva, I mean, it's quite similar, but we're more rigid with Rice, obviously being a bit more defensive minded, but he's not as creative. So we kind of lose that creative side, as we've known for a long time, on the left-hand side, which means we just can't bring in Martinelli as much as we want to, which means we focus more on the right-hand side, which all the teams know, because then they can double up or triple up on Saka or Daman or whoever is down there. But it's just it's interesting comparing sort of apples for apples. And I know the way we're playing now is different to the way we're playing because the pressure that we have on the team, and they look like they're really enjoying their football, and
they're laughing at us right now.
Yeah, and also I think we don't realize how I know Calafiori's been mentioned as a big loss. I don't think we realize how big of a loss he is.
Yeah, and where is he?
It's the same as Timber. It's the same as Merino.
Saka.
The chances of us winning the league went down by, I think, 10% when Merino went down.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, massively. Whether it was up top, whether it was in the middle, calming things down. He's an adult on the pitch. Yeah, massively.
Because the best football we played all season was when he was up top.
100%.
against
Bayern.
Bayern.
Well, I've actually got the starting team here against Bayern. It was Raya, Timber, Saliba, Mosquera, replacing Gabriel. Lewis Skelly started that game. Zubimendi and Rice as a double pivot. Eze, Saka, Marino, and Trossard. Trossard was in electric form. Saka had his body and was not scoring a lot, but he was agile.
Yeah.
Eze was in the centre. And then coming on, powering up, we had Calafiori coming on.
Yep.
Ben White coming on.
Yep.
I believe for his first game in a long time. Odegaard coming back. Martinelli coming on, and Madueke, all of whom made a massive impact.
So the four there is who's Eze,
Saka, Trossard, Marino.
All players who can keep the ball.
100%.
And that's control football. Because then at least it takes the pressure off the defence if you're keeping the ball in and around the box of their end. Compare it to Havertz, Martinelli, Gyökeres and Madueke.
I mean, it's just
totally different players.
Quite literally and
stylistically, totally different
and
players.
Great, when Noni comes on or Martinelli comes on, brilliant. Great, you can come and make an impact because of the pace you've got.
But they should be the finishers.
And they were the finishers.
Well, exactly.
That's what I mean. It was great.
So basically,
yeah.
But I don't understand why we've shifted this way of playing.
I mean that quite literally is, to be fair to Mikel, that's quite literally health and fitness. Like, think about it. Let's go through. So Saka not in squad. Trossard on the bench, and I personally think should have started.
100%.
Eze, there's no way he could have started.
No, I get that.
And Marino isn't there.
Yeah.
So, other than Trossard, who, quite frankly, the way he's in form at the moment, I don't know. And when he came on, I think he was right next to us. That's the worst I've ever seen him play. By 1,000 miles. He could not trap a ball. Everything went out of play.
Do you think that...
honestly, it was...
Do you think the drop-off has been... The drop-off has been in parallel with Marino's absence?
I think
because he was playing lights out football at the beginning of this year.
He was, yeah. I mean, he's not played anything.
Marino goes, and then everyone thought he had a bit of a connection with Gyökeres, but I think that's only because Martinelli's was so bad with Gyökeres that his looked okay. You could argue
he's not the only one though, is he? I mean, we're looking at. Let's be honest as well. I think Saka's clearly had an injury that he's not nursing, so I feel bad including him in this list because I actually think, other than his general output, I think he was phenomenal for us for a long time this season. But if we include Saka in that, let's call so Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard, Zubimendi, Gabriel this weekend, Ben White, Gabriel Jesus. This is big players on big salaries with a big history with us. Like, where on earth where's the character? Where's the ability, the bravery on the ball that we know and love? And genuine question here is, like, when there's that many people who are off form, is it a physicality team that we saw a lot with Pochettino teams, for example, like when it was Spurs, or they would always dip at the end of the season because they'd just relentlessly play all season and then they just did not have the strength to do it? Or if there's that many players out, is it the manager? Or is it a little both? I don't know. It's just...
In terms of what you think the injuries are...
This is form.
Form. I think...
Because I think most of those there, apart from Saka, who's just only been out for a few games, have played recently. Like, this isn't a...
But I think it's... I'm starting to think it's a coaching issue. Because I just think the players are so scared of making a mistake because of this total control obsession.
Do you think that's an element then? Because the control element I get. If you want to play that way, fine. But do you think that what that does is, kind of thinking out loud here, do you think that just sort of like, if you know you have to play a certain way, you worry about getting every tiny detail right rather than just shoulders down, play in what's in front of you sort of football? But then again, there's probably a balance of both. But
we know that he micromanages every single aspect of the pitch, down to the throw-ins, corners, like.
But so does Pep.
I get that, but you also have to. I feel like he lets players free, like your De Bruyne's, your Cherkis, there are Fodens. 2 years ago, there were players who he just lets be themselves. Whereas with us, I feel like, David Silva, going back, with us, I just feel like the only players who I feel like are playing with any sort of freedom are Daumann and Nwaneri, but ironically, I think that's only because they're so young.
They're kind of naive enough to do it.
They're naive enough to not understand the system, because the Eze, the Eze that we've seen with Palace compared to the Eze we've seen sometimes with Arsenal is so much more risk averse, and that's down to what he's being told to do. You can't say that he's a totally different player because that's just how he feels. Because I also think that the way that we play, players will want to play exciting, fluid football.
Yeah.
That's not what we're playing now at all. You can't say to me that players are getting more enjoyment out of the style of football we're playing now compared to a team like City, who are, it's tricks and flicks and, it's all that.
Well, look,
and it's the first time I've ever felt like that. It's in a long time. It's the first time I felt like it is starting to.
It's properly.
It's starting to look like it's on the manager as opposed to the players.
Well, it's when a manager gets you so far, better than literally every other team in the country right now. It's so hard to come to that conclusion. I still struggle with it, but I totally get it. My question is, through manager or through personnel, if you're the other team right now, or to be honest, at any point in the season, are you scared of our lineup?
Depends who it is. If the team gets Bournemouth, absolutely not, and that's why every single Arsenal fan's heart sank.
Yeah.
As soon as we saw it, because we knew, I knew we weren't going to win that game.
Yeah, we knew as soon as that lineup came out.
And the thing is, as soon as the goal went in, I don't think anyone would have felt confident of us scoring 2.
No.
Even at 1-1, you just didn't know where the goal was going to come from, unless it was going to be a set piece.
God, that Havertz chance is annoying. Did that get Gyökeres chance? Do you know what I'm talking about? They
Yeah,
kind of like an open goal and then
few.
it deflected. I don't know what.
It was a good chance.
What happened?
He just slipped. Actually, there were a few.
When we finished the game, honestly,
what was the reaction like? What was the stadium like?
Really supportive, mate. I'm telling you right now, I thought the fans were excellent. They were really excellent. There was times where they would turn back and pass the keeper when they'd done really well to get to a certain point, and then they just chose to go. Then the crowd would groan because it was like, what are we doing? Like, genuinely, what are we doing? Other than that, I thought they were excellent. But the full time, it was quiet. I heard a few boos, and I think obviously that was picked up, but I don't think it was the mass. But the point where my shoulders really dropped was that Gabriel chance. Not because of the chance itself. Jambi was sort of through on goal, but then it was an amazing tackle. Basically, for some inexplicable reason, I just suddenly realised that Gabriel, a big Gabby, had gone up top. And then I just saw Jesus picking it up off the keeper, and I was like, we literally just swapped centre back and striker. I could not believe it. I just think, and at that point, I thought, we've really run out of ideas. Because we were sort of peppering opportunities. I wouldn't even say shots, but we were making opportunities for the last 5 minutes and squandering them pretty badly.
So in terms of stadium versus players, making
100% players,
making the other nervous.
Oh, I've never been more certain in my life it's players.
Because I cannot, watching on BT, I cannot tell you how many times the commentator mentioned the nervousness in the air of the Emirates.
Yeah, but I mean, fine. Yeah, but of course there is. But I'm sorry, where do nerves come from? It's okay. Yeah, there's a long history of us not winning anything, and then there's the pressure of that. Fine, but if we were peppering the goal, or had full control of the ball, wouldn't be nervous. You'd be like, great. You'd be off your seat. And I often think this when people accuse a stadium of being flat or in a stadium being electric. Often goes hand in hand with the football. If you're playing on the front foot, do you remember that 2023-24 season? The Emirates was electric. Had Smith Rowe, Saka, Erdegaard coming to prominence. It was electric football. Guess what? It was electric on the stadium. Now we kick off, control, calm. Oh, it's a bit okay. We'll go back to the keeper. Okay, fine. If that's how we want to play. But that's how we're gonna. So that's why when you have a cry from Arteta for that stadium to be electric, brilliant. First 5 minutes, North London forever, all that, and then right, okay, well we're just passing it from centre back to centre back.
Yeah.
I'm not off my feet here, mate.
Yeah.
And then you pass centre back, and then Zubimendi holds it for too long, might fall over, then Bournemouth are through. It's like, well, they're having all the chances here, and we're trying to hold the ball.
Yeah.
Now I'm nervous.
Yeah.
It's fully the way we play.
Yeah.
I could not be more 100% clear on that's exactly the way around it.
I think it's also important to note, because we've been critical this podcast, despite being nearly in a semi-final of a Champions League and also 8 points clear, whatever it is, 7 points. I don't even know anymore. I haven't even looked at the table. I think it is purely because if we carry on the way we are, we're not winning shit.
Yeah, that's it. And look, we're annoyed because, again, I just reeled off that list of players, good players, great players, who for some reason are just not performing. And I think when we have sacrificed cups over the years in pursuit of bigger things, and we've all got on board with it, we are now looking back at 5 years, 6 years without a trophy. So that adds a lot of pressure to you as a person every time you go to work, every time you see your mates, every time you open your phone. And that pressure's got to go. And and if it's not going to come for a trophy, and I'm a pretty rational fan. I think we both are, right?
Yeah.
And I think the only time you ever really criticise the players or anything like that is when you don't see the effort or the bravery, which is the least you expect.
Or the intent.
The intent, right? And again, like I say, if you played out the skin and just hit the bar a load of times, the keeper had a worldie and they nick a goal 1-0, whatever, then you can take a lose. You can take a loss.
Yeah.
But when you turn on the phone and City win, and I've just realised on Sunday how much the whole world wants us to fail.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
and you know it, but when Sky are doing a whole piece on him drinking out of an Arsenal bottle, and Shirky's doing keep-ups and then pretending to be injured by smiling at the camera at League Cup finals, and Sky are doing whole pieces about how funny that is. Not if we did that. Oh my God, the disrespect! The first thing I saw when I saw Shirky do that and then do keep-ups, the first thing I thought was Miles Lewis-Skelly during the 5-1. He did the celebration of Haaland and the whole world went down. It was the worst thing he's ever seen. It's disrespectful. How dare you, right? But that City are doing it and no one cares because everyone wants us to lose, right? This is a build-up of pressure that we've had to deal with during the Arteta reign because he's not liked, because we haven't won anything. Like all these combinations. And that's now culturally is just dumped on us. And if we now don't win anything now, I cannot see a way out of it other than... unfortunately, a big change and likely being the manager. And that's not me saying Arteta out, because it's not happened yet. But I just think it's this season has to end with a trophy or a huge change, because I don't think that the fans deserve much more. More of this.
I'm kind of of the viewpoint that if it carries on the way it is, and we continue playing the way we are, and we don't see any change in terms of the intent, the desire, the tactics. Most importantly. And we stumble to 0.19 open play XG.
Oof,
for the remaining part of the season. I kind of agree with you that we might need to have conversations about whether there needs to be a change.
Well,
but I think if we change it up and we've had players come back, because that's massive. I don't think we can underestimate how important it is, obviously, to have the players back that we need.
Yeah, of course.
And things start.
And that's a big caveat.
And things start to brighten up. Then I think it's a bit different, and you could just pin it on the personnel that is available to him.
Yeah.
So I think the next month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is going to determine whether Arteta is potentially in the job or not.
I do agree. I said that last week. I said, and by the way, with the personnel thing, that's absolutely fair. And I think, yes, we do have this amazing depth, but you want the depth to come on in the last 20 minutes and give you energy. and we've got really good players to do that. Madueke, brilliant. Martinelli the other day in the Champions League, great. Last 20 minutes, come on, do it. But when your second team becomes your first team, someone once said that your second team is, our second team could get top 4. I was like, I actually agree with that. But unfortunately, top 4 pace isn't good enough for a title if that's all you've had available to you. So, but I said in the podcast last week, and I was bouncing. I was ready for Bournemouth. I was like, I genuinely think it's the biggest game in our history in the sense. I think if we lose it, I think we go to City and we lose, and I think it starts, which I still think will happen. I think it starts a trail where we probably lose the league, and it's just generally always unlikely you win the Champions League, right? Because I think we've never done it.
Yep.
So then if we don't win anything this season, I think Arteta goes. I think I personally just don't see a way it could. The energy of the players, the amount of emotional energy you put into all this, I'd be so gutted because I wouldn't even say Arteta out. It would just be someone else.
I think let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
But my point is, I genuinely think if it's still, because it still can.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe if it goes the other way, I genuinely think we have an amazing summer. We attract incredible attackers. I think it opens the floodgates. I genuinely think it's that monumental, just purely because the emotional energy from everyone's focus has gone into this. If there isn't a release now, then I can't see there. It's not that there ever will be, but it's okay. Well, how many times can the players keep doing this without a change of energy, focus, and
because who would be your? I think we've asked this many times.
Yeah.
Who is your strongest lineup for Arsenal if everyone's fit?
If everyone's fit, are we including someone like Marino, or we just? Well, obviously, don't think. Okay.
Why not? I mean, because City are playing their strongest lineup, and they've been able to play it 3-4 games in a row. And look what's
but they
happened.
hadn't done for a lot of the season. Yeah, and look where they were.
Look where they are now.
So, I mean, it would be Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze. It would be Havertz, Trossard, and Saka.
Interesting.
I think the way we've seen Ødegaard play this season, I would put Eze there. But to be honest, mate, I mean,
I would go.
I'd probably just put Eze on the left there, but I just hit Ødegaard in the middle. Maybe I'm
starting to think that. I mean, I would really like to see Rice, Eze, Ødegaard, Trossard, Saka, Havertz up top.
Gosh, that excites me so much.
Yeah, because you can just control the game.
Yeah, but also
you can create control. It's even Marino up top. It's a different team.
It is.
It's a completely different team.
And there is that element of,
and we haven't seen that once. Haven't been able to play it once.
And somebody was saying it was Iraola said how he was letting Sensei go forward the whole time because they were happy. Senesi, sorry, the whole time because he thought we've got enough at the back.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? They're not scared of the attack. And what does that mean? We're going to have to defend more. Whereas if you have those attackers that people are scared of or are keeping the ball or threatening on goal, then you're not doing it. I mean, remember that whole debate that we had once about Salah, and it was last season actually, was that he never tracked back. He didn't do any defending, which meant he literally just stayed on the right wing. And that sounds bad, but actually the material impact of that was that the left back just stayed at left back. Yeah. They didn't go forward. So in itself is a defensive move by being threatening, being attacking and staying up there.
And how many goals did you see of them just pinging it to Saka and then him either cutting and shooting or passing it to Diaz or whoever it was on the other way?
Exactly. And whereas Saka has to track back all the time.
Yeah.
And that's in itself a form of defence. But I reckon if we left Saka up there, it would be...
Yeah, because we can't do it with just Gyökeres or Havertz up top.
So
who...
But
who is your team for City then?
Look, what are we saying? Who's fit?
So let's say Saka's out, Ødegaard's in.
I just have to believe Saka's got to be fit. I don't know where he is.
It's annoying, and it's annoying that Arteta's not given us any indication. I kind of get the fact you want to play it cool with tactics and all that, but at the same time, you are fighting kind of for your life at the moment.
Yeah,
the fans are frothing, and not in a good way.
I mean,
with what's going on, and I think you kind of need to just there needs to be some clarity in terms of what, because it's a mystery. The guy turned up for England duty, ready to play, got sent home,
Yeah.
and hasn't been seen since.
Well, somebody said that I think since what game was it, where he sort of pulled up in the warm up, and then he hasn't been the same like at all since. Like, genuinely, he hasn't looked right, has he?
No.
But because I think even up until the Spurs game, he looked really mobile. I thought he was brilliant against Spurs away, and then literally just hasn't been since. So I'm just hoping that whatever's going on, he can fix for the end of the season. Because I personally, I don't see a way we get anything without Saka being back.
No, not at all. No, that right side well, it's not great. Downman's kind of papered over the cracks, but it's not good.
I mean that Nwaneri loan just looks worse and worse and worse and worse by the day. But I remember we said it at the time. We said it. I get there's a desire to please the player if he wants to leave for game time. I get that, but at the same time, you have just come off a season where half the squad has come out injured, and you've had to play him. Yeah,
and
it's about to get thick and fast.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that we've added some depth, but it doesn't. I think he's just completely like whoever makes. I'm not blaming Arteta, but I just think the people who are at the top have just completely forgotten how demanding a season is, especially at this part of the season. And you're taking away one of your most creative players, and then putting it all on
one of our top scorers last season.
Exactly, and then you're putting it all on Odegaard, who's been injured himself, and also Eze, who as we've seen, hasn't always played a full season with Palace. And then you're throwing in more Champions League games, you're throwing in international games, going deeper into cups, which you wouldn't have done with Palace, and you're getting rid of a player who can fill in for them, and also fill in for other players on different
the right
wings,
wing,
and also fill in up top.
Yeah,
how fucking stupid can you be?
Genuinely, I remember saying this time. I remember people go, "Oh, it's good for his development," and ultimately, it's we're not really using him anyway. It's like, yeah, but we should be.
Yeah.
Like, I disagree with how he's being used, and
but also you're fighting. I mean, I don't know whether he's ticked the box for playing enough games to get a Premier League medal, but surely surely from his standpoint,
you just want to be there.
You want a medal. Follow it through. I get, maybe he wants to go to the World Cup. He was never ever going to go make the World Cup squad from Marseille. You never ever do. It's so hard to be in a coach's eye or in an England scout's eye away from the Premier League.
Yeah.
So and
particularly because right up until this point we've played every single game that's possible in every single trophy. So we've played the most amount of games in England so far.
Yeah, and also the beginning of the season.
Of course, we're going to get
the beginning
injuries.
of the season narrative was you only score set pieces. You don't score open play goals. This has been the narrative from
day one.
And you're taking away a player who can unlock that or at least help with that.
Yeah, I don't know. But
it's just it does my head in some of the decisions that people make.
If Sporting goes badly, I honestly can't imagine what. I can't imagine. I mean, it will be pitchforks by the time it gets to City.
If Sporting goes badly, I've got zero hope of us against City. I think City have we're not going to be able to change the way we play. City have figured us out, and I don't want to be a sort of doomsday, the doomsday bloke, but I don't see how it changes. I really don't.
I think we need to lean in to what we're good at. I think play the bad boy. If we're going to have to, grind out what you can. Play for a corner. Play for a free kick. Be a hero. But hope Eze can pull out some magic. And that is what we're going to have to and just hope that Saka's fit.
I just think we're so tired at the moment that we're not going to be able to deal with the fluidity of City.
I don't know. But look, we should be seeing, if we do take a step back, this whole conversation changes if we beat City.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's not like...
So what happens with the draw? Draw is interesting.
A draw is a lot better than losing,
For
put it that
sure.
way. But it basically leaves it in out. We'd have to win. It's just a shootout.
Then the Newcastle game is enormous.
Yeah, well, yeah, they all are.
I
But
don't think
it's,
I'm not even that hopeful of Newcastle.
No, me
the way
neither.
we're playing.
but look, let's say we draw there.
Yeah.
We're 1 point ahead of them if they win their games in hand. But if we lose, if they win their games in hands, we're completely level on points and pretty much level on goal difference.
Yeah.
And I got news for you guys. We are not beating City in the last 5 games the way we're playing on goal difference. Even though we're level now.
Yeah.
So if first for me, if we draw there, there's no way we win the league, even though we're a point up. I just can't see us winning all the last 5 games. And don't get me wrong, they've got really hard fixtures, but they're coming into form and they smell blood. And that's
And they
very
don't have
different.
Champions League games.
And they don't have Champions League games. They do have the FA Cup final, and
Yeah, but that's
it. Yeah, that's one.
towards the end of the
If we win, that remains a 6 point difference going into 5 games. And that's, for me, that's the league. So surely the players have to, just the noise that's coming from everybody, including us, clearly, like, see this as an opportunity. This is a Premier League final, so to speak. This is your opportunity.
I don't see it. I get it in terms of
It's got to be.
I get it in terms of the importance, and I get it in terms of how people want to G themselves up for it. I get it, but as you say, the way we are playing, even if we win that game, that's an outlier in terms of the way we've been performing over the past 2 months. So I'm not confident. Also going into Newcastle, thinking, "Oh, we're just beating City. This is going to be a walkover."
No, it wouldn't be a walkover, but like if we just beat City and we
It'd be a massive confidence.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it would
If
be
we
a
beat City and
massive
we get to the
confidence
Champions
boost.
League semi, then all we have to do is win 3 of the last 5.
But we would have to drastically change the form, and that could to be honest, that could only come from different personnel. And
Yeah, and I think
we're not changing. We're not changing our tactics now.
No.
We're gonna have to stick at it with the way we're playing. But we do. I mean, I went back and said, I'd love to see Havertz, Trossard, Saka, Eze, and Odegaard. They're all kind of becoming fit now.
Well, Odegaard's not.
Oh, is he not coming back?
Well, I don't know. He wasn't in the squad.
No, I know, but I thought he is coming. She's pulled.
Who knows?
Honestly,
Genuinely, he's made of twigs. I don't know what's going on.
oh.
But is he? I genuinely don't know.
I don't know.
Have you
I was
seen something?
actually thinking back to when he was coming back for the Lisbon game.
No.
And then he obviously went down.
And they didn't play against. He wasn't in the
It's
squad
like
for
4 knee injuries this season.
Oh, God knows how many. Is Odegaard? I genuinely don't know.
I don't know. I don't think. I'm assuming he won't be back for City. I think Saka hopefully. I don't even know anymore. I don't know.
We need healthy players, and we're not going to do anything without healthy players. Because we beat Atletico 4-0 this season, and that feels like a long time ago.
Different season.
And look, if we had the players that we had available then, who knows? But I just can't look at this team without.
I think it's just as you pointed out. I think it all comes down to players who can keep the ball up top. Trossard, Havertz, Eze, are the biggest players now.
Yeah, and like for me, no matter what
same.
happens, win, lose or draw. Sorry, win or lose, whatever this season overall. That front three. I don't include Saka in this generally, but I mean, I still do think we need someone to support on the right. But we need a completely different front.
I would
three next
play
season, apart from Saka.
I would play
front, left, and centre.
I would play. To be honest, I would play Eze attacking mid. This is against City. If we're going for a more controlled game
Where?
against City away from home,
Yeah.
I would go Eze midfield, as attack midfield.
Talk me through your back four as well.
Mascara right back.
100%. One thing we haven't spoken about is the whole game they targeted the Penn White channel.
Yeah. Mascara right back. I'd go Saliba Gabriel and Hincapie if he's fit. I don't think that
He wasn't fit enough to come on this
Yeah,
week.
but
I
I
thought
think
MLS was good.
Yeah, he was good, but
Yeah.
not against City. No chance against Semenyo.
No,
He would
not
have
at
the
all.
strengths. I don't know if Calafiori's. I don't know where he's fit. I don't know where he is. I mean,
never do.
let's just okay, fine. Hincapie fine. I'd go. I mean, you've got to go Rice Submendy.
Yeah,
I can't. I think I'd rest Submendy against Sporting. I think I played. I think I played Norgard. To be honest,
would you?
Or one or the other. I don't think Submendy can't play another 2 games. He's dead in his feet and he just looks shattered and like just bereft of confidence. I watched Norgard so much last year and he is just I don't get why he isn't playing more.
Yeah, I mean I can't say.
Anyway,
this, so
either way, I go for City. I go Rice, Submendy, Eze. I'd then go Martinelli on the left.
You would go Martinelli.
I'd play
on the break.
For the break. I'd play Havertz up top, and then I'd probably go Trossard on the right.
Trossard on the right.
Yeah.
What for the being able to?
Because I trust Martinelli more on the break than I do Madueke.
Yeah.
And I think that you need control. You need to be able to get the ball down and keep the ball up top. And then just have players who can, if you keep the ball, it obviously the players can then join. The rest of the team can join up the pitch.
Mm-hmm. You drop Noni.
And then Noni's not been good for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think he's. I'd rather bring Noni on as when players are tired and he's running at players in the 80th minute and the defender sticks out a leg that he's just too knackered to think about doing. That's the most effective way we can use Noni, because Noni isn't not going to win us a game starting a game.
Noni. He's
I think that's the only way we can use him, to be honest.
Yeah, I you just don't know what you're going to get from him, and I don't mind that sometimes, because sometimes he can have a blinder.
But it's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Well, look,
for the time being,
we've got a few minutes left. Have you got a man of the match?
No.
I'll give one MLS.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I thought he was, considering where he is, I thought he was really. I think he was the only one brave in midfield.
I'd actually, to be honest, give man. I thought that Alex Scott was sensational.
I mean, fair.
We
don't.
Yeah, I know we don't do it normally about other players.
They were really good, by the way. They were 3 weeks off.
Yeah,
they were charged up. Tactically, they were set up well. They had our number.
I really like him as a player. I think he is. He's one for the future for England, which is great.
Yeah.
But I thought he just played so well in midfield. Is exactly he played with the sort of freedom that we would die to see.
Yeah. Well, tell me about
in some of our players. But who's your dick of the day? And why is it the bloke with the bottle?
Oh, mate. Well, no, do you know what? Whatever. Like, that sort of stuff, it's like, I just cannot. I'm not surprised, but I am also so surprised with the guy with the bottle. Like, if that was us.
Oh, mate.
Could you imagine?
Cringe FC.
Yeah,
like, this is pathetic. Like,
And look, ultimately, it's a bit of football banter. Like, it's just that I'm a bit concerned that he's a middle-aged bloke doing it, but whatever. Like, ultimately, it's like
strange bloke.
But I'm quite surprised at how much Sky were so excited about it, and how all the other fans. It just showed me how much everyone wants us to lose.
Sky, BBC, like
they loved it. They loved it.
Yeah, it's become.
Imagine if we did the Shirky stuff and we did. Honestly, we'd be called Cringe FC, embarrassing.
Yeah.
Anyway, who is my dick of the day? I think I'm gonna have to go for the second week in a row.
Yeah.
The person who poured my third pint, which was about midday this time, so it was a lot earlier. He's a recurring character. It ended up being a long day.
Yeah.
I was very sad, mate. And what about you?
I've got a few, to be honest.
We've blown off a lot of steam.
The bloke I sat next to on the tube on the way here, who decided to get into a game of elbow warfare on the.
Did he win?
No, I lost badly. I lost really badly.
Oh dear.
The person who invented the game of golf. It's not good for my mental health recently.
No,
I've been playing so badly.
Is it sport in general? Whether it's golf, football, or elbows, it's just not. Yeah, it's not.
It's not tennis.
The one.
The person who invented wind, who consistently blew my ball.
Oh yeah.
Into the water. God, I lost so many balls. Jesus.
Nelson.
And Chelsea FC for just being fucking useless.
Useless. Their fans didn't even want to win.
Yeah,
they're going for Champions League.
Have you seen some of the content creators from Chelsea saying that they would happily just let City win just for the great of good?
I think that's the whole weekend and the way the media sort of reacted to the whole Bottle and the Shirky stuff. And admittedly, that was a league final, that one. And then seeing all these fans come out and want Chelsea.
Chelsea fans wanted
I've
Chelsea
suddenly
to lose.
realised just how much everybody wants us to lose.
It's pathetic.
It is like...
It's pathetic.
Which is why, genuinely, I don't think if we don't, I can't do this for another year. I can't. I just cannot.
I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but it would be tough to...
Imagine being a player.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the fallout would be. But we'll as I say...
I know. But look, genuinely, imagine being a player having to go through that all the time.
I think it's important. We do still need to recognise where we are as a club. We are fighting for the Champions League. We're fighting for the Premier League. We, I think, have emphasised pretty harshly and pretty directly on this podcast that things need to change and things need to change quickly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are heading towards an iceberg and we are without a steering wheel.
And you, my friend, are away.
I am.
For the next few weeks.
I am. I will be on a beach in Mauritius.
Good place to be.
Not bad. Not bad.
I was scathing you for choosing a title running to do this, but actually you might be in the best place for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look, mate, you'll be a big miss to everyone listening.
You're going to be all right
and mainly myself.
I'll hold the fort.
I'll hold the fort. I'll try and be a rational man, which I think we tried to do in this podcast. But we better wrap up. Rory, I will see you in a few weeks. Thank you so much. And hopefully the other side will be that much closer to 2 parts of silverware that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, I'm missing the City game, Newcastle game, and Fulham game.
And then 2 semis.
And then both potential semi-finals in the Champions League. Christ. So,
well, enjoy, mate.
When we come
you deserve it.
Or when I come back,
it'll be
tears.
Ticker tape.
It'll be tears either way.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to those tears. Thanks so much, mate. Well, look, it's been. I've needed this. I needed a bit of a rant. You had to suck it up at work and just listen to the absolute, bombard of people. But look, it is what it is. Everyone at home, thanks so much. Let's keep it tight. Let's keep it safe, and let's enjoy. As Mikel said it, I think we're supposed to enjoy this run-in. So let's try and do that. And have a good week, guys. And hopefully we'll see the other side. And we've beaten City, and we've beaten Sporting, and it's all looking good again. Bye bye.
Bye bye.